All right, Doc here from North America. Happy to hump day. It's Wednesday. Wednesday, fun day. Let's get rolling along here. And here we go. What do we have up there this morning? I think we're looking at AMD, the computer stock. But we're not supposed to be looking at computer stock. We're supposed to be looking at the euro. That's where we always start off. So let's try that. Open Sesame. Dukascopy Forex day and week. There it is. And let's see what else we got brewing here. There we go. All right. And so now, there we go. Excellent. Now I can see the charts. Everything looks good. It's opening up. I can hear me. I can see me now. There we are. All right. And that is, what is that? That is the NAS. Oh, that's the New Zealand against the dollar. Okay. And there's the euro there pressing down. Down, 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 down. Good morning to all and good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. All right. Let's look at trading. Okay, there we go. We got the euro. Let's put it up on J4X too at the same time so we can see it quoted. Euro. On the wall. And there you go. You can see our work breaking down still. That's line, which one is that? Line 14. We're 1 week in a sell, and now we are 5 days in a sell. The thing is instant gratification there. You can see here, same thing. Look at it. They're burying it on the J4X on our numbers there. Same situation. Burying it down. Down, down, down she goes. Where she stops, nobody knows. Saw a really interesting article this morning, well worth talking about in this situation. It said that, it was talking about fundamentals, and it said, don't fight the Fed. That's a fundamental. And then they went on, they gave some type of example, and then they said, but you can fight the ECB. And they had charts, and they were showing the lack of growth with all the stimulus out of Europe, but the growth, in the States is much higher with, I guess, the same percentile of stimulus. And then I thought, well, again, during my webinars here, I usually always say the same thing over and over again. If they would just change some laws over in Europe, the markets would move. And it's the laws themselves. And it's just like, what we're fighting at this particular election. We're fighting to have someone who likes to remove restrictive laws that hinder opportunity, growth, jobs, so forth. And compared to, I guess I can't really say that Europe desires to make sure that everybody works less or there are less jobs to be had or make less money, not more. But the rules out of Brussels are not conducive, let's put it that way. And so I thought that was very interesting to see that. So anyway, that's the old story there. And that's, I guess, why we see the European community not really growing that much. And we see a currency that looks like it should try to get some legs because of all the stimulus in it. Not really getting much of a lot of traders here were thinking that we were going to see, let's just do it right here with J4X. You can see it got up to the 20-ish area, but a lot of traders here were thinking we were going to see 25. And we were in a weekly buy and a daily buy at the time, and I was right there with them. But instead, we've just done some type of crazy island top instead. And, we slipped in, you can see it here on our work. We were in a weekly buy. Let's tighten that up a little bit like that. We were in a weekly buy from back in here, and it got going. It was an interesting move, in the 108, 109 area, and it ran up to the 120, and it looked like some real life was coming into this thing, and it was like, wow, maybe they finally, they talked about Europe was talking about stimulating. They were talking about doing some positive things out of Brussels and so forth. And I guess there was this anticipation that they were going to change some laws. And I guess then they did some votes and didn't change any laws. And now we are rolling over like a puppy wanting its belly rubbed. You can see that right there. Slow and steady. All right. If there are no questions, we'll jump over to the cable. See what's going on with the cable this morning. Right. Where's the Cable Rado? There's Cable Rado. 127.30. Again, this product we were thinking the same thing when traders here were talking about seeing 125 on the euro. We were thinking maybe the low 40s, and we were looking at I guess it was this area here, the highs there, and also you can see the resistance that has developed in that area there. And so we were thinking, okay, yeah, maybe it'll get up to like 140 or 138 or 139 or something like that, 141. But they both have rolled over. Now let's see what it looks like on our work here. Just like you can see here on J4X, it's gliding down. I mean, definitely a glide. And you can see here, same thing. Now we took a while for us to get into the weekly sell here. We went into the daily sell at this top, and then we got into the weekly sell. I guess it was right off of this one, maybe. Let's see, what's the date? Because the weekly sells are on Fridays, confirmed. So they may be trading during the week underneath, but they're not officially confirmed until they close on Fridays. Yeah, so it was the 11th. So the 11th is right here. So confirmed in there, and then 2 days later we go back into the buy, but you can't get long because now we're on a sell. And then we get the sell here, and now you can see the gratification is coming in again. So just as here, you weren't supposed to get short until you go into a weekly sell, unless we always have the caveat, you're trading options. And in the options, it's okay to get short. But when you're trading anything else, you can't get short. So, because options have a natural stop to them, so you don't have to worry. Whereas, if you get short in this thing and we're in a weekly buy and the trend changes, you won't know until 24 hours later, and then you possibly get margined out of your account or get stopped out of your account. Whereas in options, you put the options on, you know what your risk is, and you're not going to get margined out. And so next thing you know is that's when you're buying options, of course, buying premium, yes, and so or spreads, however you want to phrase it, look at it, or contango with it. And so that's what the answer is there. No questions still. Interesting. All right. Let's roll along here. Where are we rolling to? We're rolling with the homies. That's Prime Minister / President Aragon. Let's see what he is doing today. Are we at another all-time high? Spin the wheel and let's see if the Turkish lira against the dollar is at another all-time high. Can't tell. I think it may be. 69 is divine right there. See that? Look at that. Right there. 69 is bid for, 69 is offered. I believe that is an all-time high. Let's check it over here. There you go. Yeah. So today, 69.41. 69.47? 69.47 is the all-time high now. Just knocking them off day after day. Niagara Falls. Slowly I turn, step by step, inch by inch. The Three Stooges. Niagara Falls. All right. Yep, you can see here. Look at this white line above the time manifold. Look at the white line here, just mildly curving. Just strong and stronger. Daily buy there. Weekly buy when the cows came home. Somewhere's back. The weekly buy is back last year now. That's where it was in middle of December. We went into a weekly buy and it's still there. We are on that's line 17. We are 42 weeks now in a weekly buy. Hey, Ferris. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. Thank you. I hope all's fine with you. The beginning of the week was easier to trade, but yesterday was difficult. I'm trying to think what yesterday was like. Markets I can say this about that. That's my Richard Nixon quote. Markets have 3 or 4 rhythms in a week. They do have characteristics. So yeah, I mean, the rhythm shifts at times, and yesterday they were trying to dig their heels in, and they did. You can see the stock indices lifted. The currencies are dropping. The dollar is firm. Bonds are relatively flat. Overall, was it crude oil? It sold down. Yeah, so it was an interesting day. Tried to lift up. We went into a weekly and daily buy in crude oil on Friday. We thought maybe we were going to see some real action, and then on Monday they slammed doodled the marketplace. And so that's part of it, I guess you could say. All right. I hope that answered any of your question, and I'm kind of agreeing with you too at the same time. So, but I didn't have much of a problem yesterday. But then I am a spoiled brat. So, all right. So you can see here, Turkish lira is where we just left off of it. Let's jump over to Canada. See what Canada is up to. Right there. Oh, Canada. Their national anthem. Since we play a lot of sports with them, we know those things. You are a pro, you never have a problem. Oh, rubbish. Trust me. We do stupid things too. We get so overconfident at times that we have to smack ourselves and say, stop it. Stand up, walk away for a minute. When you've had like 8 or 9 straight winning trades, you start to get a little stupid. Next thing you know, you try to give up 2 or 3 of those trades and profits because you're just like bored. So as a pro after 40 years, what you try to do is you try to discipline yourself just not to trade at times. In other words, you've had 8 or 9 wins, go grab a cookie, have a cup of tea, because you start to you feel like you're immortal. So it's the really trick is every trader, be it a pro or an amateur or an experienced or unexperienced, discipline is always the answer. Discipline is always the key. So we all have our, it's like, why did I just do that trade? It's in a sell. I'm buying it. Yes, but I think it's going up. And then it's like, guess what? Maybe it's not going up. You're losing money now. And what was it yesterday? I was doing bull spreads. And, at the last hour and a half of the day. And, I could see that they were digging in, and I was jumping ahead of the curve of a daily buy. That's what I was doing. And, I lucked out. I'm right, But, again, I really should have waited till like 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, that type of thing, that is really pros can do. We can, or I guess you call me a pro. I'm just a veteran because I'm an amateur. I'm really an amateur in the sense of, I don't have a BD, and I'm not, a member of an exchange, and I'm not running other people's money, so that makes me an amateur. And so, but with enormous 4 decades of experience. And so, trust me, we can do stupid things too. Like yesterday, I was doing bull spreads. Someone called me and said, what are you doing? I said, I'm buying bull spreads. And he has a system, he uses my system, and he says, we're not in a buy yet, though, are we? I said, no, I'm just nibbling. I'm nibbling. And so, and I was lucky. I was nibbling, and I was lucky. I should have waited for the confirm. I mean, I've seen where 10 minutes before the close, all of a sudden, looks like we're flying through a daily buy, and the next thing you know, we stop and it rolls over. Something comes along. So, thank you for the compliment, but us super experienced people can try to jump ahead of the curve once in a while too, just like everybody else. All right, there's Canadian. You can see it's lifting up. And that is line 20, and you can see, I think we're challenging the weekly easily. We've been 10 weeks in a sell, but we're 3 days in a buy. Is that 3? Yeah, that's 3. So we're 3 days in a buy. Right there, you can see it. 10 days in a sell. So let's take a look, and you can see J4X is lifting up nicely, especially the last couple of days. We got green, hinky, ashy candles. And over here, let's check it out through Chicago Quant. Right there, you can see we've been in a buy there, so that's good. That's good. And we've been all week long. We're through there. So I mean, if I was trading options in Canadian, which I am not at the moment, I would be nibbling away throughout the week, also trying to get long into that, thinking 10 weeks could be a good amount of time for it to be in a sell. Maybe it's time to get done. Then the dollar started to take off, and I think it actually closed in a weekly buy too. The dollar, didn't it? Yes. Over here on line 26, you see that closed in a weekly buy also. So if I was really sharp, I would have been nibbling away on Monday for sure. down at the opening in that area here, and would have caught a nice little bump. So that's the answer to all that. I don't really care for the liquidity in the currency options. They're kind of a little thin. So and there's so many other things. If I had a trading desk again, then I would have my trading desk. Someone would be buying, nibbling away on my crazy ideas, my anticipation ideas. So, yes, traders, discipline is the key. Stay with your system. Don't drift. Doc at times can win, and then I find out a lot of times when I drift, I end up making about even in the end result out of the non-confirms. And I always try to remember that. So in other words, like, yeah, I'm winning today because of the indices. But there are times where I buy and try to leap ahead, and I end up giving it up. Now remember, in options you have a limited amount of risk, so it's not that bad a thing. But if you're trading the hard delta, it can be painful. As we finish off our tea. There we go. At least I'm not eating peanuts this morning. All right, let's jump over to the Swissy, which I've really been toting as a really good alternative to a pair of the pairs trades to trade. If you're bullish on the dollar, you buy the Swiss dollar pairs trade, and if you're bearish on the dollar, you sell it. I mean, it seems to follow it very well. Now let's take a look. Discipline is the key. Over and over. I tell myself that every day. Trust me. Every day I do that. Discipline is the key. There we are. All right. There it is. You can see it's been climbing up. We are... Oh, when we climbed into a weekly buy, too. Coordinated very well with the fact check Excel sheet. That in a buy... The Swiss in a buy. See, really good tool. Both of them really march really well compared to all the others. And you can see here, it's reaching for the stars. It's up, up, and away. So, let's see. Oh, there we go. We got something there. Ferris says, question, what do you do when you are just 2 pips away from your target? Know that I have to trust the pips. And it just won't hit it. Oh, I know. Tell me. I call it a horse race. You should see that on Fridays. Sometimes Fridays can drive me bloody crazy. I mean, 3 minutes before the market's ready to close for the weekend. And it's like a half a pip. Half a pip away. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? And you can hear me. I'm going, are you kidding me? As loud as I can say it. And it's like, no, especially in the big ones like the euro, something I might have a position in. Like I'll trade the euros, I'll trade the cable. Not too fast to jump on the Canadian just because, I live in US and Canadian's not the most liquid. Trading the S&Ps and the NQs, there are times they do it too. It drives me totally bloody bunkers and I fight all the time. Now, when you're trading options, you have a little bit more leeway. I can go in and buy, 3 or 4 option spreads and risk very little. But if you're buying like, the S&P future or buying the SPY or, you're buying a basket of stocks, that's a hard delta. You could have them open down on Monday and you go, what the hell did I buy that thing for? It still wasn't in a buy. It didn't confirm. So, no, you want it to really confirm. I mean, unless you are using my system live. And there are very few people that are doing that. We have a few subscribers that do it, but if you're not using my system live, then you don't really have the tools to try to anticipate. So no, stay with the discipline. Stay disciplined, and it won't. Yeah, and do you stay in for the sake of being more disciplined, or just get out manually and move on? Move on. I've learned my lesson. I'm telling you. I've come to the conclusion that when I anticipate and it's not confirmed, I probably make as much as I lose, and it makes no sense in the end to do it overall. But it's human nature to want to anticipate, and to like, I'm bright, I'm brilliant, I can do that, and then it doesn't do it, and it's like, you son of a. So no, stay disciplined. Discipline's the key. I know. It means you're technically doing good work. That's what it means. So you just need to adjust, just a little bit more. You need to tweak a little bit more. You may want to consider what's the products you trade, and I might be able to make a simple suggestion. So in other words, what do we got there? Robin, yo, Robin.
You're in the webinar. I'm sorry.
Nah, that's all right. What do you got?
Nah, we're faced with a quandary here.
Oh,
I
okay.
went to PayPal and I figured there's 130 something dollars.
Oh, okay.
There's 400 something dollars, and I don't understand. We've all got our money, so we'll have to see what this.
Yeah. I hear you. Hang tight in there. All right, I'll talk to you. So anyway, where was I at? Oh yeah, so discipline. And trust me, I wish I would have keep it. I wish I could have the same discipline day in and day out forever. Because I've really come to the conclusion every time I try to jump ahead, I win. I win big. I can win big and I can lose. I don't lose big, but I can lose. And it's irritating. It's just irritating. And so when trading options, I have the leeway. I can get away with it. I will win a little bit more. But you know what? If you're trading the hard delta, no, definitely not. So definitely not. Definitely not. Discipline. Science. That's exactly it. It blinded me with science. All right, let's take a look at Mr. and Mrs. Yen. Unless anybody wants to see something, I'm just going through the list here. So, Yen has been moving down. Interesting. New prime minister. All that stuff. Wow, how tight is that? Yen 1 week in a sell, 1 day in a buy. Not. Yeah, see that there? It's popping up too. See it on the J4X picking it up also at the same time. And then let's take a look at it here. Yenski. Didn't know the yen is part Polish. Yenski. And you can see there, yesterday. Now I got a red and a green there today. Yesterday it wasn't red and green. Let me just give a refresh here. Huh. There was no red dot there yesterday, so it went into the buy. Now, I hate when it does that. With these black pools and all this other stuff, it has an effect on the charting once in a while, which is even more irritating. Because all of a sudden more data comes in later throughout the evening and fills in past work, and all of a sudden it shifts it a little bit. Not all the time. 1 or 2 products a day out of the whole list here. I would say, see, out of this whole list of from 2 to 27, or what's it, down to the Bitcoin 31, 2 or 3 of them can get shifted, or 2 of them. It's not all of them, but they do get shifted at times. So, all right, let's see, that was the Yenski. Like I said, it's part Polish. No one knew that, huh? I guess that's about it. Unless anybody wants to see anything, we can jump over to where can we go? Let's go take a look at something more funnish. Let's say NASCAD, because that's kind of related to the oil. So right there you can see 1 week in a buy, and we're 2 days in a sell, so it's kind of in a neutral at the moment. And let's take a look at it on the Chicago Quant right there. And where are we at in this thing again? Line 24. Okay, yeah, we're in a sell. And so you can see there, and you can see it's aiming down. And then let's see if we can do this. Let's put it up on the J4X. NASCAD. Right there. And there it is right there. And so you can see, it's driving down too with a couple reds. And over here, you can see same situation, pushing down. I guess we could take that green and move it to a right there, is it? I think that's the sell right there, right? Was it 2 days? So this will be the 3rd day, so it's 1 more back, actually. It's that one right there. We can go like that, wide and narrow, and make that red. There we are. So it's in the Selski. Didn't know that the word Selski is part Polish also. And so, you know, you can see the pressure on it. You can see the same thing here on J4X. All right. Nobody, anybody want to see anything particular? Well, I mean, I can keep on rolling along. So, but you know, I mean, if you want to see something, just shout it out, and I'll just throw it up there. We'll dissect it live. All right. Let's take a look at crude oil. Let's jump over to the commodities. Commodities. And there it is right there. There's Mr. and Mrs. Crude. Like I said, we went into a weekly buy last week. There you go. I always like to try to show a losing situation. I hate to be right so many times. No, I don't hate it. It just looks kind of abnormal, that's all. But you can see here on Friday we went into a weekly buy. We were in a daily buy. And Monday morning they smack-a-doodled it. That's what happens sometimes. Sometimes I actually, you know, when I get into a weekly buy and I'm in a daily buy, sometimes I will wait until Monday morning to go after it. In this case here, it would have been much more profitable, that's for sure. And being in bull spreads is not the worst thing in the world. And you can see it's trying to fight its way back here, but you can see here we were in a daily sell now for 2 days. And the strength is still there, but it's really overall the manifold is tightening up. So that's always like a warning to a new move. Now, we are in a weekly buy, so maybe that new move is to the moon Alice, up. And that would be nice since I have about 5 weeks of bull spreads on, so that's not too bad. And yesterday I actually was tempted to sell some call spreads, and I didn't do it, and I'm glad I didn't. It's showing a little more strength here. You know, just to offset it a little bit, and then wait. You know, wait. We can always, you know, notice when you have like, let's say you have 5 bull spreads on, you can always go out and sell like 2 bear spreads to offset it, turn it into what we refer to as a trapezoid, and then pull them off when it starts to rise again, and then at the same time it helps to start, you know, helps to cut down on the decay of the options. So that's where we are there. All right, now what else is brewing around here? Something else is brewing somewhere, I guess. Okay, so there's the crude oil. And with the crude, usually we take a look at like gold. So let's take a look at gold. Oh, and you know what? Let's take a look at it on J4X too before I get too lost here. Gold. Where's crudey? Right there. Light. Sweet. Yum, yum. And you can see here it doing the same exact thing as ours. You know, just playing around. Whatever that is, I like that. I forget what that was. What is that? That is, oh, no, that's not the Hinky Asky. Linear aggression, that's it. I forgot we were playing around with that at one point, weren't we? Interesting. And you can see the strength is still seems to be like on its edge, but, you know, look at this. The white line is breaking down. They're all trying to break down. And I need to sell some spreads in there until it turns into a buy again. That's that anticipation stuff. All right, and let's take. Now we're looking at gold, and let's put gold on J4X, right there. You get oh, it's below the 18s. I didn't realize that. How about that? Spot is trading at 1881. We've been what have we been doing? You can see this thing's buried down in here on the J4X, and then over there on the Golaruski. 2 full weeks in a sell, 6 days in a sell. And so that's 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going on a 7th day. And so we've been in a sell since here. We've been in a weekly sell since here. And so that's been pretty interesting. And then it really started to roll over at the beginning of last week. I guess that's what, Wednesday there or last week maybe? And then that's Friday. And that's Friday. So it was like Wednesday or Tuesday. I guess Tuesday they really started to put it into the charge when it was up in the 1950s area. That's right. I think someone said something to me about that yesterday in the webinar. I think someone who's using Chicago Quant charts. They said, you know, they were happy with the work because of that. Because they said they were trading. I guess they're trading silver and gold. I think that's what it was. And you can see there the pressure is on. I have to, you know, I mean, we saw that massive move, you know, at in the summertime. It looked like it was a short squeeze of the cash against the futures. So London traders against the New York. Oh, excuse me, New York positions. I guess that's what it really comes down to. And so it sounds like I don't know if we're going to see that again coming into the expiration. Remember, the expiration is in December. So I guess maybe some options will have some effect, but that's an expiration thing, future. Hey, Stefan, long time no see. I see Euro New Zealand still going up. Let's take a look at it. Euro New Zealand. Let's check that out. Check it out. What it is what it is. So, what was that? Euro New Zealand. Euro New Zealand. There it is. I see it. I got it, Herc. I got it. And there it is right there, trading at the 1.77. That's a neat number. Okay. And it's still loading. And then let's go see if we can find it on our our Chicago quant. Let's see. Let's go over to here. Is that Euro New Zealand? There's Euro Zloty. There's Euro Dollar. There is Euro Aussie. May have to make a copy of the Euro Aussie and put the New Zealand in there to see what's going on. There it is. I have it. Still have it. How about that? That's cool. Okay. We still have it. There we go. Let's check it out. What it is what it is. Now look at the way it's moving up on J4X here. It's definitely showing some life, that's for sure. And I guess we don't follow that. Okay, so here we go. So we've been in a weekly sell since here, which is not that exciting. And that's what, 3 weeks ago? And we're trying to lift up. And then I guess we went into the daily sell there. And then it's one of those like the oil did, It goes into a daily sell. It's in a sell, and then it lifts up on Monday. Starts to climb. And then you can see it went back into the sell there and gave you all the money you lost back, and then you made even more. Hooray for us. And now you can see it's trying to lift up again. Let's widen this a little bit more. You can see that right there. It's been 2 days in a daily buy, and it's still climbing up, as you say. You can see, I can see, you can see, we all can see. Let's make this thickerish. There we are. The manifolds are thickerish. Let's make the white line thickerish. There we go. And you can see here on the weekly, the white line is still underneath the time manifold. Here on the daily, it's really ripping. Look at that. And let's widen those, not widen them, but let's tighten up those manifolds there. There we go. You can see there, it's holding up really nice. Histograms plus white line is cleanly through the time manifold for the last couple days. You can see last time it did that, it started the beginning of the topping out run. Same thing here. Now in this case here, it became very tight and climbed for 3, 4, 5 days before it really started to do the full top out. About 6 days out, went into a buy again, 1 day down. Oopsie doodle, you can't take the short, thank goodness, because we're in a weekly buy there. And then goes into the buy. You can take the buy, and it does nothing, buckus, and then breaks down. So you need to be out of it. If you had options on, you're doing okay, and you're waiting for our weekly sell, and here it is finally. So that's a good one. I'm glad you mentioned it, and I'm glad we keep it on there too. It's nice to have that on there, just to take a look. It's always fun to look at some of these other pairs trades. There are traders here throughout the years that have said that the smaller pairs trades have now become much more liquid and easier to deal with because of that. So yep, it is still rolling up, and looks like. But notice that we're really having a hard time getting into that weekly buy, and the time manifold on the weekly. Notice that right here, that the time manifold, the white line's having a hard time challenging that time manifold. But once it starts to do it, look at that. It caught the bottom. It zigzagged there back in June for like 5-6 weeks. Let's tighten it up a little bit. take a look at past history of it too. So it went into a weekly sell there, and it got underneath the time manifold, and it really had a hard time, finding a bottom. And it finally found the bottom and got through the time manifold, not plus, but just got through it. It started to build the bottom, and we started to get the strength there. And a week later, we closed in a weekly buy, and then it was guns blazing. We went from the 174s to the 182s in a matter of 3 weeks. So, and now you can see it's been in a sell. Let's see how it does. Let's see how it treats that time manifold, and see if it digs its heels in, does what Faras was saying. Faras was saying the same thing about, it's just a few pips off. Can we anticipate? It's like every time I do, I get stomped on. Not every time. Every other time. So if you're trading options, you can anticipate. If you're not trading options, don't anticipate. That's the only way to say it best. Because, see, options are a whole different breed of trading. And due to the fact that a lot of people still are not really using options, as they should be used, or at all, a lot of people are still using hard deltas, and it's a tough one. That is a tough one. Stops don't always work. Imagine if you have a stop on Friday evening, and you still have the position on going into Sunday, and some news comes out, your stop is going to do diddly for you. So that's where we are. All right, now did we look at crude? I think we did, didn't we? Because I was trying to emphasize how the math has driven me crazy over there. And we looked at gold. That's right. And so now, want to take a look at silver? We can look at silver. Anybody care to see anything? If nothing else, no, we'll just throw up silver for a few seconds until someone says, hey, let's take a look at X. And there is Silverado. You can see going on a third day down now. You can see the it's been in the weekly for 3 full weeks. And it took a while to get that gratification out of it, that's for sure. And then it was sayonara. Whew. And then, let's see. Not sayonara-iski. Sayonara doesn't have any Polish in it. And let's check it out on J4X. Right there. And Silverado. Right there. Wow. That's something. Off of its, I guess you could say it's like 2-month highs. The product has gone from 29. Is it 29? No, 30. It's basically gone down from 30 down to 23. I mean, it's almost off like what's that, 22%? Isn't that amazing? What a volatile product this is. It is just hot and heavy all the time. That is amazing. Just amazing. So, all right. What do we got going on here now? Let's see. Let's see if we can do something else here. Also, I need to. I'm looking for something. Where is it at? Okay. And so, this product itself, silver, is just such a more volatile product that you just have to be careful with it. Oh, hold on 1 second. I just need to grab something on the other side of the room. You may be able to still hear me. If you are, that's great. I'll be right back here. I'm coming. I just had to go grab something on the other side of the room. All right, there we go. I'm back again. So, yeah, I mean, that silver, that is one product that you can really get away with, trading. I mean, it just really, it does some wild moves. It really does. It's got a lot of guts to it. And, can you imagine if it goes down to 20? I mean, a 33% drop. I mean, that's why it's such a tough product for a lot of people to it's nice that you can buy coins in it and they're relatively cheap, and, but it's really, really tough at the same time to trade that product. It really is. It's a toughie. It is a toughie. And, traders try to, because it's cheap, they think, oh man, we can we can do that, you know. But in the end result is it's a toughie. I don't think you can describe it any other way but that. You know, I mean, we see gold. I mean, gold is down. I don't know, what's it, 6% from the high? You know, and this thing is 22% down from the high. It's like, wow, what a dichotomy. What a dichotomy, you know. So I just got a ding from somewhere. Who's that? Oh, okay. Geometric view, number 37. What are gates? I don't know. It depends. In string theory, is it? Maybe they're asking. What are gates? How do they form? First principles of magnohydrodynamic. Interesting. No, I don't want to get into that. So, what else can we say about all this? I don't think there's anything more to say, but traders in the silver arena, be very careful. If there is ever a product that you want to trade with options, boy, that's one of them. That's for sure, because it can be a challenge. There's no doubt about that. To see that type of move, you know, that is a challenge. You know, going down from $30 to 23 now. You can see it there on Dukascopy, 23.5. Alzer. That's a, you know, whereas gold, you know, let's go take a look at gold on J4X again. Gold. Well, I guess it was up in the 20. Where was it? Let's check it on this too. I just want to see the exact number. You know, those hinky ashy bars are kind of odd at times. So gold got up to 2,074 almost, 2,073.70. Okay, and so now it's $200 lower, basically almost $200 lower. Today's low is 76, so you can say it's $200 lower. Okay, and so what is that? That's 10% basically, maybe 9%, something like that. And whereas this product, you know, was up to $30 and now is at 23 and change. So it's like, woohoo, you know, that's you know, you're in the 20s. It's double the loss, percentage-wise. So it's definitely something to take very, very serious when you're choosing which metal to chase after. I think, you know, silver coins, in many ways, is a bargain. When they do these slam downs and you can get them in the 22s and 23s, makes sense. I mean, a 33% haircut, wow, yeah, that's something cool. All right, where do we jump from here? Anybody want to see anything particular? Let's see. How about natural gas? Let's take a look at natural gas. There it is, right there. I just saw it. What the hell? You know, it's going into the buy. It's been in that weekly buy. I guess the cold season is coming. You know, so forth and so on. They'd been selling it down for weeks from this action. That was a really nice buy there. In a weekly buy, wow! It tried to shake you out there, but we had a green dot, so you couldn't go into the sell or something like that right there, and then it lifted up that day. You know, I mean, it was closed higher, and then off to the moon again. So I saw, matter of fact, I saw this really weird headline. It said something like, you know, natural gas takes, you know, major hit, and I went and looked at it, and it was unchanged. I was like, how's that a major hit? Then I went and looked at the bar chart and realized that it was, you know, it had come all the way back. So that is that on that. We have anything else you want to see? Anybody want to see anything else? If not, we'll drift over on the spreadsheet and just take a look. We've got about 14 minutes left, so we can take a look at some stock indices. Let's see what the stock indices are doing. Now you can see here the S&P went into a daily buy. And the NASDAQ is in a daily buy. I thought the NASDAQ was 2 days in a daily buy. And you can see both of them had slid into weekly sells. And so let's take a look at that product. We'll throw it up on J4X to start off with. S&P 500, right there. You can see it's still showing some strength in there. I thought we were down to 32.20, so we're up pretty well, aren't we? How about that? Okay, and you can see it's trying to bottom here on the J4X. And then let's go over to there and check this out. Right there. Yeah. And it's trying to lift up I guess what it was is this red dot wasn't there when it first went into the buy. That's what's driving me crazy. That goes right up there with Farmes was saying. It's like, damn, at one point it was. Then they recalculated it and changed it on me. And now it's back in the saddle again. Back in the saddle again. You can see here it's trying to get it, the white line is piercing through the time manifold and it barely got below it to begin with. So this thing, if this shows a little more strength and we get up into that area there, by the end of the week, we could possibly see this thing moving into the weekly buy again. That'd be interesting to see the stock indices start to lift into the weekly buy. I myself saw most of the liquidation as a liquidation of. There was a fund over the last couple of weeks they had to liquidate. There were 9 banks that wanted their money, and it was the guy was like Lewis Pearlman or something like that. I don't know, one of these guys out there, and he went on. He obviously was way too leveraged, and he owed 9 different banks money. And so they're liquidating his portfolio. So a lot of that action, and silver could be that too. You don't know if he was big in the silver market. I don't know what his position or his fund was exactly, but I can say this: there was a liquidation that was been going on for over a week, and so this is going on the second week of the liquidation. So they may be done the liquidation, and that may have been a part of this big selling. Also, if you don't take your profits from these moves, sometimes you miss it. So it's a combination of both. You got to take your profits, You can't let your profits just get out the door. All right. What else do we got brewing here? Nothing particular, I guess. So that's the S&P 500. Let's take a look at the what am I looking at? We'll find it in a second. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ 100. Now, Dukascopy has that listed as, and I like Dukascopy's name for it more, the USA Tech Index 100. And that is really what it is. And then I put the wrong spot. Let's see, go like this. Tech 100. There it is. And you can see they're both battling in their daily buys. And then let's take a look at it through the Chicago Quant right there. Yeah, so this is the second day. Yeah. And they tried to do the same thing. Tried to get in there. You can see here on the Chicago Quant, we had the red and the green thing. Now that did have a red dot. That was what was irritating. But notice the histogram here has not gone down. So, and you can see, look at that. You can barely see anything there. Where is it? You can see the white is minus 35. It's really inching its way up. It's very close. No, wait a minute. That's the histogram, right? What is this? The 3-5, right? So it's a 5. Yeah, so the histogram is right on the edge. It's trying to get into the plus. That's plot 6. It's only minus 7. You can see it. I'll leave the little mouse right there, and you can see it ticking away. 7.3. Oop, just disappeared. So you can see it ticking away there. 7.2, 708, 683, 692. It's trying. This thing gets going up into this area, and they're going to jump this baby into the high. And if see that white line just tried to make a little dash onto the upside. So, there's pressure on the upside here, and a lot of it, like I said, a lot of it could have been the liquidation going on. There was a lot of liquidation. So, that could be, that really could be it. That could be it. That could be it. We could be seeing the liquidation over with, and maybe push some sellers. In other words, traders like to lower their bids when someone's selling, and then they like to raise their offers when someone's buying. And so in this case here, it is the nature of the market. Just as Farmes was saying. I hope I'm saying that name right too. Farmes was saying that too. It has different patterns and different characteristics. Materials Electro. Oh my God, are you part of the electric universe? Metallis Electroceus. I like that. Are you a rebel scientist with me? You may be. How cool. Hello, I personally close it manually for 2 pips and it would ensure the operation. I agree with you 100%. Materialis Electroceus. I like that. Are you sure you're not part of the electric universe? I think you are. Are you a brother or female rebel scientist like I? It is I, rebel scientist. Yeah, I agree with you. Discipline, discipline, discipline. And for us, has brought that topic up very clearly. Now, what is that? Oh, okay. All right. Right after webinar. And what is it? Time's down. In 7 minutes? 8 minutes. There we go. Bink, 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 bink. There we are. So, yeah. What are we looking at here? Oh, yeah, the Tech 100. There's a good chance that the liquidation was it. All right, I'm not gonna drag on to that too much more. All right, now let's go take a look at what are we looking at now? How now, brown cow? Let's see. What are we looking at now? Don't really have anything. I looked at the 2 stock indices. Take a look at Bitcoin. I bet Bitcoin's trying to join in. There's Bitcoin. Let's take a look at it on the J4X. Bitcoin. There you are. Still a little red, still having a little work, just like we are on the Chicago Quant. Do have a little curve going on there, which is kind of interesting. It's in the weekly sell. So, what do we got there? We got a message. Message in a bottle. Message in a bottle. And so, boy, they really keep on pushing this high frequency trading firm. Oh, there it is. Ah! So, where am I at? I know I had my mind somewhere. There we go. Bitcoin. I'd imagine it would get some legs. I think we talked about this a couple days ago. I have been disappointed over the years now how the cryptos march with same assets. So in other words, basically the cryptos are just another asset. It's not another asset class because they seem to go up with the markets and they go down with the markets, and they go up with the gold and they go down with the gold, and so it's kind of disappointing that they're not walking like some type of random walk on their own, which is pretty cool. I mean, I really would like to see that random walk, but we never really do see that random walk, and that's the thing. I was always hopeful that the cryptos would do that, but they don't do that, and that's the disappointment. And so, all I can say is that it was a hopeful thing when the cryptos were created. I like the cryptos, and I think they're important, and I think they're needed. It was just because of the whole universe of our asset class has become wacko. Daniel, let's see, Doc. Hi to you too. Markets same as Monday. Stocks while up, still bearish. Only thing up is dollar index and maybe treasuries. Well, I got the Nasdaq and the S&P in daily buys. Bonds are kind of flat. I think I have the 10-year in a buy, and I got the 30-year in a sell. Let's see. Turkish lira record highs again. Yeah, I mean, it just goes on. It's like that song. The beat goes on. Do, do, do. Let's see. And then the ruble is another pair that goes bullish. Yeah, ruble's been fascinating. Where are we on the ruble? Let's do that. 12 weeks in a buy. 3 days in a buy. We follow the ruble on the spreadsheet. And on our work, we may even call this the ruble webinar. Yeah, look at that. Still buy, buy, and buy. Look at it. It's been buy since like there. And it's been in a weekly buy for weeks. 12 weeks to be exact. Look at that. So it's come up from the 70 to the 76 area. I keep on thinking the thing wants to go down, but obviously I'm wrong. Let's put it this way: if I traded with my heart, I'd be losing money in it. I really, think that one day the ruble will be a good product, and it'll fall down into the 30s or something like that again, or 40s. I always think that's where it wants to head to. Just because of the resources of the country itself, I just assume that it's going to head in that direction, but it doesn't seem to happen. It seems to go the other way around. Every time they start to get some legs, somehow or another they do something that freaks everybody out, and then the ruble finds a way to go down again. So the ruble and a lot of other products, they all seem to march in this the same direction. It does. Moves with the Bitcoin. It moves with the gold. They don't seem to be, seem to be able to break these things out. So, ruble, the rub. So that's where we stand with that, and it's too bad too. It really is. They have all the potential for real great success. They really do. Let's see. We have anything else there? If not, we're going to get out of here. So I think we're going to call this title of this one, Ruble Moves with Bitcoin and Gold. And none of these things really are as independent as I was hoping they would be. It's all the same thing. We've seen this happen throughout history, Happy trails. Yes, here we go. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to all my trading friends. Yippee-yi, yippee-yay.